reached their goals since 1960. For more information, visit www.del-1.org.
This is DETV's Good Morning Wilmington with Nadj and Jea.
What's going on? How you doing?
Pretty good.
It's Christmas.
It's Christmas countdown.
Yeah.
What day we?
Friday.
So we got 4 days.
Yeah.
Y'all got 4 days for your Amazons, your UPSs, your FedExes.
Are you ready to rock and roll? You good to go?
DHLs. I am. I've been ready.
Okay, good.
I've been ready.
Have you been in the spirit, over the past week or so? Are
we
you
put
there?
up my Christmas tree. It is interesting. It's a wall
I think it's great.
tree
Yeah.
with we just put lights in a triangle.
Was
with
this an
tinsel.
original idea? Because I think it's pretty brilliant.
And we just did the lights with some tacks.
I think that's it. Like, listen, I have young kids too, and they definitely
And they can't reach it. They're so
But
high
they will
up.
still find a way,
I know.
They're so crafty.
They're on
so.
the tree skirt. I've still put my tree skirt down. But and you know what? My nephew tried to say that's not a real Christmas tree, and I was like, but the gift's gonna be real. They gonna be real.
And that's
so
all they need to know.
That's all y'all care about, really. Like y'all don't care about no tree.
I think it's a brilliant idea, 100%.
So yeah, y'all got 4 days to get it together. What are you doing for Christmas?
You know what? I think we actually just kind of figured out some more of the details over the weekend. So all I know is, number one, we're going to keep getting our testing to make sure that we're safe to go see our family members.
Wait, are they doing testing? Are they going to have results released on Christmas?
I hope so. They've been getting them back to me latest 3 days. So we just keep doing that because the point is that we're going to be seeing all of our family members in pockets. You know what I mean? So it's not there won't be any big group gatherings, but like Christmas Eve, we'll see drive-bys, all kinds of stuff. So we're just trying to make sure that everyone that we're not going to get anybody sick under the circumstances. But I think we're pretty well prepared. All honestly, thanks to my wife because she's super organized, and I just kind of do all the driving and show up where I need to when I
lift all the heavy stuff.
That's pretty much.
Take out the trash.
I basically am a mule, and I'm fine with that. I don't want to think. I'm happy to take that role. I don't want to think.
Well, I just want to know what Lisa baking, because if I could place an order.
It might be a little late for an order, but she is quick. But I guarantee you that we're going to have the pumpkin muffins again.
I just really want the pumpkin muffins.
They're really good. They're really good.
I just want that. That's all I want.
And there might be a pie of some kind.
I don't care.
You're not a pie person. You just want
Lisa,
the muffins.
if you're watching this, I just want the pumpkin muffins with the cream cheese icing. I will buy the ingredients and put them in a nice little basket on your front
That's my
step.
grandmom's recipe,
Whatever you need,
You know what I'm saying?
got you.
Like, you can't just give out certain recipes. I mean, we might be there, but I'm just saying, like, if anyone else wants the recipe, you can't just have my grandm's recipe.
I'm not going to do that. No, I'm not going to do that because I want Lisa to make them.
Right.
So last show we talked about 30-day challenge.
Yes.
I decided no dairy, and we said you're not going to cuss. He has failed miserably.
We fall down, but we get up.
He's trying. He's not supposed to cuss, and he's supposed to be. He's not supposed to say anything negative about people. So
except you say negative stuff. No, listen. I'm trying.
This ain't for me.
This
for you. I could be petty.
I am trying. I am in the struggle. I have not given up. I am here for the challenge. I told you all. Listen,
I know. I'm just saying.
I've done a great job with the negative
and
comments.
I've done well with the no dairy.
Yeah, but the profanity is a problem. It's a problem. It's my language. That is, you're almost asking me.
Is that your love language?
It is almost like you're asking me to switch from English to say Greek. You know what I'm saying? Like it is that. It's fundamental to the way that I communicate.
No.
But I'm working on it. But I tell you everybody now, when these 30 days is up, It's going to be Jay at his. It's going to be basically Rudy Ray Moore. It's going to be Rudy Ray Moore for the foreseeable future.
I don't know who that is. I don't know who that is. Anywho, today's show is a delight. I just want to say that I know a lot of people, why can't I get this right?
I love watching you squirm like
big
this.
Big people in high places.
And it's like the opposite. Instead of going, I got friends in low places, you go, I got friends in high places.
Why does he do that?
Why do I do that?
Why do you?
Because I like your angry face.
It's not my angry face.
High places.
So we here at Good Morning Wilmington with Nadj Jea got to interview the governor of Delaware. Okay, do y'all understand? I don't think y'all get it. Like, we up there.
Respect our gangster.
Like, we a little bit violent, okay? I just want to put it out there. Y'all need me to interview y'all CEOs. Y'all need somebody to donate money to.
I just see this as we are lining it up for POTUS. You know what I'm saying?
Listen,
that's all.
Uncle Joe gonna be on the show.
This is happening. We're putting that into the future.
We're speaking it into existence.
We are ready for it.
So we interviewed the governor, and my cousin, County Executive Matt Meyer, who is a delight. This is just a great show. We get out. We you know what we do? We do a great job of bringing out the human, fun-loving side of these politicians.
I actually totally agree with that.
We really do, and I'm happy we do that because I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Come here, come in close. I hate politics. It's boring. I don't want to talk about bridges and taxes and laws. But when we talk about this or that, or who's single, and how many kids you got,
but you do
I'm all for it.
No, but you do a good job of loosening everyone up and letting us see kind of their true side. And it's
charming.
Hard. Yeah.
I'm charming.
It's intimidating.
So,
no, you're fine. Go ahead.
We're excited for these interviews to air. So yeah, stay tuned and make sure that y'all don't turn the channel or the stream.
Yeah, we're bringing in some big dogs, and they're gonna give you some good information. Honestly,
yes,
and we get to hear about their cool stories. So yeah.
Yes. All right. So yeah.
Let's do it.
Let's go watch our interview with the governor.
Governor Carney, thank you so much for joining our show today. We are truly honored. We know you are extremely busy, so yeah. I guess the first thing that we should honestly say is congratulations. You've been reelected. So yeah. How do you feel about that?
I joke with people, you know. Well, first of all, it really is a good feeling, but I joke with people. The good news is that you got reelected. The bad news is you got reelected and you got.
I understand. I can only imagine, you know, how busy you are. I guess should we maybe sort of start exactly with the things that you want to make sure that you get out there, that you want to get out?
Absolutely. I mean, I think the most important thing is that we've seen an incredible surge in the number of positive COVID-19 cases in our communities really since mid-October.
Yeah.
And with, you know, Halloween and then Thanksgiving, people gathering in a way that really was not good for protecting one another from getting COVID, we saw another surge. And it's not just here in Delaware, it's every state across the country and even countries around the world. As the weather got colder, people were moving more indoors, gathering together socially, people getting tired of the 9 months of all of this and letting their guard down. And so we've seen incredible spread. Now as we enter into the Hanukkah, Christmas, Kwanzaa holidays, we're seeing a surge like we've not seen so far in our state. And so people just need to be careful. My message is really pretty simple. Enjoy the holidays, but do it just with people in your own household. That's a hard message, right? Because we want to be with our relatives, our family members and friends, but it really is the most important thing to do. And the good news is help is on the way. The vaccine is here. It's being delivered now to hospitals and those frontline healthcare workers and to other populations. So that's the good news.
Can you sort of educate us on how the vaccine is going to be rolled out? Are the first people getting their vaccinations today in the state, and how will it go over the next few months?
Yeah, so first of all, it's been worked on both by a national group to establish priorities, right, based on risk, based on the idea of frontline essential workers. And then there's a local committee. So lots of transparency. It is a little complicated, but there's a lot of input from all the different sectors about who should get the vaccine first. And it essentially focuses on protecting the most vulnerable populations. If you think about the people who've died from COVID-19, it's overwhelmingly people that are over 65, even over 75, those who have pre-existing and health problems and are frail, as an elderly person. And so we're going to vaccinate those individuals first, the healthcare workers first, that take care of all of us, right, in the hospitals and the like, the nursing home workers who take care of the elderly, the elderly population itself, and then segments of the population, first responders, law enforcement, fire and emergency services, essential workers, which include first food processing employee. In our state, we had a very significant outbreak in the lower part of Delaware with poultry processing workers. So there's a whole series of, and so we'll work with partners. Hospitals obviously can give the vaccine to their employees themselves through primary care physicians, and even I'm sure we'll stand up clinics to have people come in and get vaccinated. So this is going to happen in every state across the country with different groups of people coming in to get vaccinated. It's going to take a long time, where the estimate is to vaccinate over 100 million people across the country. That's a lot. That's a lot of vaccination.
Yeah.
And it takes 2 doses, right? So you get the first shot, and then a couple of weeks later you get the second shot. So that requires some coordination as well. But it's really good news, because after that, we'll still be wanting to be protective, wearing masks and the like, but the risk of illness and succumbing to the virus will be significantly reduced.
Yeah.
Do you feel as though we've kind of gotten to a point where we can, I guess, start the process of thinking about coming out of this whole situation? Is the vaccine sort of the beginning of the end, or is this going to be a very long process too?
No, Jay, I think it's an interesting question and an important one. We had a group that was put together that involved community folks and business folks and so on and so forth, that looked ahead, right? Because we want to come out, we want to accelerate from the economic perspective, and for jobs, for workers, really accelerate out of this thing. And so there are a number of things that we're doing to do that, to prepare, putting state resources on the street in construction and other things like that. Preparing people with training. We put $10 million aside for individuals to get trained in certificates in high need occupations, healthcare, construction, logistics and transportation, so on and so forth. And so, yeah, that's an important thing. But right now, my focus as governor and our public health team is really on pushing down the spread of the virus we're seeing in the community right now, making sure more people are getting tested. And by the way, we have tested so many people. We're closing in on 400,000, almost half of the population of the state, and many of those folks, if not most, have been tested more than once. In communities all across our state, communities of color, city of Wilmington, suburban, lower Delaware as well.
So we know that you watch our show every Monday and Wednesday, Delaware's premier morning show. But in our shows, we've talked about the vaccine, and we've joked, but also had serious talks about the vaccine. And I've said that I'm not taking it. And for people like me, what would you say to the people who are afraid or worried and maybe leaning towards like, no, I'm not taking it?
Yeah, so first of all, we're very concerned about that, right? Some of that has to do with historical discrimination, right, and practices in the past. Some of it just has to do with people's fear of government in general. Some of it's political, the idea that somehow this whole thing is kind of made up and the like. But so we've just got to get the truth out and the message that it's safe. It's gone through a significant testing period through a very transparent process that's been established for any kind of vaccine. It's happened quickly for sure, and that's intentional. It's actually, I think, a great success that we've got a vaccine this soon. One that's already been approved for emergency use by the FDA, and one that should be approved this week probably, and then another and more that are coming after that. But the message has to be it's safe. Yeah. It's been approved apparently. There are some side effects. I mean, it mimics an infection itself, and so it triggers the immune system to attack it, right? And thereby giving you protection. And so there are some initial feelings of feeling sick like the day after, but apparently that goes away pretty quickly. So we're going to have a messaging campaign to get the word out that it's safe and that folks ought to make sure they get vaccinated.
Gotcha. So we're going to try to stay in the same place, but I know there's so many different components to, the whole pandemic. And one of the big things that's on everyone's mind is school. I know that right now things are pretty much back to where they were in like March and April in terms of everything being virtual. Can you give any sort of time frame for how you see schools reopening and what that will look like over the next few months?
Yeah, so one of the things we did learn over the last 9 months is that schools are very safe places and they can be made safe with the appropriate preparations. And the school districts have done a great job with that, making sure that students, everybody was concerned that the young children weren't going to wear masks. Well, they did. They adapt better than we do.
They do. I've said that so many times. Yes.
As a surprise to you, I live right behind Warner School, and so I drive by a lot, and when they were in and the kids were coming in on the buses, all the little kids are sitting up there with,
they like
that has not been a problem. And the expectation was that would be a big problem. There is a little bit with respect to, excuse me, children with disabilities, and the little itty bitty ones, but by and large, not a problem. We have not seen much transmission in the schools themselves. So the problem is that there is virus pretty prevalent outside of the schools, and teachers and staff and others are exposed outside of the schools, and that gets to be a problem from the perspective that they get sick, they test positive, and then they're not able to go to work, and then somebody who's come in contact with them has to quarantine for a certain period of time. So I know my friend Darrell Green, who's the superintendent of Red Clay, he's got parents who want their children to be in school. And he used the example of Cook Elementary, and it's a public example. So, but he's got 70% of his parents who want their children in school, but he only has room for so many because of keeping the children distant from one another in the classroom. So that's a challenge. And then when somebody gets sick, when a teacher gets sick or an aide or somebody, and they can't come to work, operationally, he has problems making that work. But the schools, so it's a hard message for us, right? To say to parents and staff, teachers and staff, schools are safe, and we should be trying to get our children in school. They see what's happening in the broader community, and they say, wait a minute, what about all this? So we decided, let's take another week on either side of the Christmas vacation, holiday vacation, and just have a lot more communication with the education folks to try to get everybody to understand the real situation, so we can get more children back for in-person instruction. really pains me to think of these children losing this critical time in their education. Learning how to read, pre-K to third graders they're just not going to get that time back. And so we just really need to lean into it. It's the hardest thing that we've had to do, both when we shut the schools down in the spring, reopened them gradually in the fall, had to take a pause now over the Christmas break, and then hopefully bring them back online in the second week in January.
So, understanding that the schools really aren't a hot spot for spreading the virus, like, what would you tell everyone? Like, if you could just give us 3 places to avoid, like, please just don't put yourself in these 3 to 5 circumstances. What are those places that will help us to sort of stop the numbers from increasing so much?
Well, of course, we've limited bars and restaurants and indoor gathering spaces.
And is that a noted hotspot? Like, restaurants are definitely,
Absolutely.
Okay.
So when they test positive, they get a call from somebody from public health who says, you've tested positive. Could you tell us where you've been? And they'll give them a list, and also others that you might have come in contact with. So we can call them and say, look, you've been potentially exposed. Please quarantine for a certain period of time.
That's scary.
And so, top of the list is bars and restaurants.
Okay.
So we closed them in the spring. We've significantly limited them. Any indoor gathering places, church services, funerals, weddings, big gatherings inside are all limited now because of the prevalence of the virus in our community. And then really we're seeing a lot of this is in informal social events. You have your friends over to the house for, refreshments and to watch the football game or whatever the case may be. And you just leave your guard down. You don't have a mask on. The most important thing that everybody can do is wear a mask. It's mostly for protecting others from you being COVID-19 positive, not knowing it, and you're spreading the virus. So everyone should wear a mask. I even wear a mask at times when my boys come home from out of state, because I don't know what, I don't want them to get anything from me, and vice versa, until they get tested and we know that they're not shedding the virus. So I would just encourage people to wear masks at all times. And by the way, as I said, I live near Warner School, so I'm in the city a lot, and I see most people wearing masks, even outdoors, and that's a really good thing.
Yeah. But
you just have to avoid being within 6 feet of anybody, particularly indoors, so any kind of indoor gatherings. So that implicates, parties and dinners and all the rest over the holidays. We just need to dial all that back. And the advice is just limit the number of households, right? So I come from a big family. My sister wants to have dinner at her house. So all my siblings, my brothers and sisters come together. Well, that could be 10 different households. You just don't want to do that. It's just that simple.
So some good news. I think that you certainly see this as good news. I mean, and if you happen to be a Democrat, you'll see it the same way. Biden is now sort of officially our president-elect. That's big news. How do you feel about that? How do you think that will impact not only, I guess, the country, but also our state?
Leadership. Leadership during COVID-19. We have had such incredibly mixed messages on wearing a mask.
It's so easy to do. It's such an easy thing. Like,
it's become a political statement, right? And the president and all you have to do is look at all the people in events in the White House that came down, including Rudy Giuliani, his lawyer, because in all these events, they discourage people from doing the most important thing that you could do, which is to wear a mask. And so from President Biden, we're going to get leadership by example, and we're going to get a president who's going to be talking to all Americans, as one, not red states and blue states, Democrats, Republicans. Look, we're all in this together. It's just the way Joe is. So we're going to get leadership. And then I think that bringing people together, part of it, instead of what the current president does, which is use the highest office in the country to divide people by, by race, by ethnicity, by geography, by, worker status. I mean, it's just very discouraging and a very difficult time. And we're just going to see kind of the opposite that with the President Biden.
Right.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
Well, so we love all the information and the advice and everything because it's really needed, especially now. So now that we have gotten all of that, we would like to play a game with you.
We want to have some fun with you. Can we have a little bit of fun? Real quick.
Fun.
All right.
Okay, so we're going to play this or that, Delaware version. So you only have 5 seconds to choose. And if you go over your 5 seconds, make sure you're doing the countdown.
Okay.
Jay's going to go. Okay. You ready?
Yeah.
And 5 seconds, what am I supposed to do? I missed that.
You have to pick one or the other.
Okay.
I'm going to give you 2 options. You have to pick one or the other within 5 seconds.
Okay.
All right, ready?
Ready.
Lewis or Dewey?
Lewis.
Greek festival or Italian festival?
Italian festival.
Ice cream festival or flower market?
Mad at me.
Ice cream festival or flower market?
What was the second one?
Ice cream festival or the flower market?
Flower market.
The doghouse or Capriati's?
Ooh.
Bodies, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, last one. Grottos or Seasons?
Ooh.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What do you think? All right.
That was good. All right, I think you're safe.
Yeah. Governor, thank you so much for your time. Is there anything else that you want to say before you get out of here?
No, I just, first of all, thank the people, your listening audience, your viewing audience. Thank you for the opportunity to serve as their governor during a difficult time. And I would just ask all of them to be safe, enjoy the holiday season, but do it safely. And we're going to get through this. We've got a vaccine on the way, and things will be better in 2021.
Yes,
Let's do it.
We're officially best friends now.
You
Governor.
two are.
Like we are. So just when you see us on the street, hey, best friend.
She just wants political favors. You have a great day. Thank you, Governor.
Good morning, it's your girl Desi, and now it's time for the good news. Now I got my festive gear on. This is the holiday edition of the good news, but it's more like a little bit of advice from Desi. So it's holiday time, right? So I got something special for you. But remember, follow us on DETVCH.com because you might hear some of your advice, but here's mine. Listen. If you don't cook well, do not experiment this holiday season. Do you see all the beautiful cups and plates and bowls and carrying on that you can do? Take that to the dinner, but by all means, do not experiment on the macaroni and cheese on this holiday. So, if you're not the best cook, just bring something that's non-perishable, or guess what? Bring a gift. It's so important to make sure that we incorporate new and great ideas when we're spending family time. If there's nothing that this time has taught us, it's that family is so important and life is short. So if you can't cook, leave the dish home. It's your girl Desi, and that's your good news. Follow us on DETVCH.com. Happy holidays.
Thank you, Desi, for the good news. And now we have a very special guest. We have County Executive Matt Meyer, Cousin Matt.
Hey, how you doing?
Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
So I just want to acknowledge my outfit. It's beautiful. What did you wear today? This is from Shein. What did you wear today?
What?
Jay is wearing bargain bin.
I'm bargain bin as usual. You know, just the simplest thing possible. You know.
I shop at I can't remember the name of it. Right on Market Street, 10th and Market, a men's clothing.
I know
store.
what you're talking about.
It's
right. Is it right?
Wright and Simon.
Yeah,
Thank
there
you.
we go.
Yeah, that's
Gotcha.
good.
Gotcha.
What is
gotcha.
it?
Wright and Simon.
Right. Yeah. That's sharp.
Right
He's
in
sharp.
Sun? Oh, you're
yeah.
Right in
He's
Simon.
sharp.
He's
My
a sharp
cousin's
man.
Sharp, y'all. See where you get it from? It running the blood. It running the blood.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
So, county executive. For the people like myself who have no idea what that is, can you please explain to us?
Sure. It's a little like being the mayor of
Okay.
Newcastle County. If you think the national government has a president, an executive, and Senate and House, a legislature, in Dover, the state government has a governor and a state legislature, state House, state Senate. And here in the county, local government to deal with local issues. We have a county executive, who's the executive, that's me.
Oh, that's you.
And then there are 13 county council people. Yeah, your cuz. And there are 13 county council people that are like the legislature. We deal with issues, police, paramedics, libraries, parks, sewers, and this year a lot of COVID-19 response, testing, making sure everybody has Wi-Fi, things like that.
And you spearheaded that.
We did in county government. Yeah, we spearheaded that. I was adamant in March. You know, I spent 10 years ago, I was a U.S. diplomat living on a military base in Iraq for 10 years.
Wow.
And General Thomas Vandal, the late General Vandal, a one-star general I worked very closely with, would always say, you can't fight an enemy if it's an invisible enemy, all the time in Iraq. And that sort of saying had been ingrained in my brain. And so when COVID started, and everyone's calling it this invisible enemy, I'm like, wait, we can't fight an enemy if it's an invisible enemy. And the only way I knew to make it visible was through testing.
Wow.
Wow. So
That's really good.
I have said several times over the course of this show that the county and your efforts to do the testing have been absolutely exemplary. You know, I mean, I have friends in PA, and it's really hard for them to get testing. So, you know, people complain about the government all the time for a lot of different reasons, but this is a time
We're the government, we're here to help.
We've seen you do this perfectly. It's like it's been really cool to see. So can you kind of tell us just how you got the program started and how is it so efficient and how did you put it all together? 'Cause it's
Good.
fantastic.
Yeah, I appreciate the compliment. It's a compliment just not of me, but we have an extraordinary team. Our paramedic service, they're sort of the unsung heroes, not just during COVID, but all the time. We have an extraordinary paramedic service, and they had a lot to do with this happening, particularly Lieutenant Autumn Tuxford, who runs our testing program. But the way it came about is back in March, you remember there was no testing. Nobody could get access to testing. A lot of governments, state governments, local governments were depending on the federal government, on FEMA in particular, and FEMA had made some mistakes, and so no testing was available. I wrote an op-ed in Delaware Online in March where I said, we need to find testing for everyone. After that, I got calls from vendors from Korea, China, Vietnam, California, all over the country, and I didn't really know what to do. About that same time, Dr. Neil Hochstein, Dr. Joan Coker of ENT Allergy of Delaware. They're ear, nose, and throat doctors.
Yeah, my wife went to her recently.
Yeah, there you go. They called Dr. Michael Bass, who's a gastroenterologist. He called me. They just wanted to be helpful. And so I kind of put them on the assignment of how do we find testing. And Dr. Hochstein joined up with a local doctor, joined up with a group called Testing for America. And through those networks, we had 4 or 5 choices of vendors. We chose a group called Curative, and we presented them to the state. They were really the only group doing saliva testing at the time. We were the first state in the country to have open, available saliva testing.
Thank God, because I was not going to get one of them things stuck up my nose. I value my brain. And they said some lady's brain was leaking one time, and I'm like, I'm good.
No, but I think that's a really good point, because that's I think that everyone had that fear. You know,
Yes.
I'm a little more daring, so if it would have come to it, I would have been like, all right, let's just truth or dare and kind of make it happen. Right. I don't have that much brain to lose in the first place.
That's
and
right.
you know,
and also it was a problem because they're saying about 40% of the people that get COVID are asymptomatic.
Yes.
Right? Are asymptomatic.
That
so
means no symptoms, right?
No symptoms. So if you're coughing and you're scared and you think you really have it, you're probably willing to do the brain tickler. But if you have no symptom, we needed to get people tested who've just been exposed, have no symptoms, and a lot of people would say, "You're not touching my brain. If I have no problem, why would I do that?" So I think saliva made it easier that way.
Yeah.
we talk a lot and we joke, and so we go, vision. We say that, but you really showed that in those early moments of COVID, and it's just
Are we the only state?
We were the first state. There were some other cities doing it. What really convinced me, right before when we were looking at their technology, signed a deal with the Air Force to do 1 million tests, and I said, well, the Air Force probably knows what they're doing if they're testing their people on this. So there was no state doing sort of widespread testing at that time.
Wow.
So in terms of where we are now, like how do we compare to other states at this point? You know, I know PA is difficult.
Yeah, there are still places that are difficult. I haven't looked around the country, but listen, I'm just trying to make sure testing is available, and it's hard. Like I was telling you today, it's been real cold. The test sites are outside. We've done some inside sites. There are obviously additional risks to bringing people inside, so we're cognizant of that.
That is so neat that Delaware, like, we popping this year.
But this, I think, over the course of this show, we've learned so much just ourselves about how many people are doing really like high tiered like leadership on the cutting edge of all of these different things, and it's cool. It makes us a little bit, makes us proud.
Well, it's one thing that's good about being in Delaware is sort of we all talk to each other. I was talking to friends of mine in other states, and they're just like, these doctors just came out and helped you, and it's who we are. I think as a smaller community, we help each other.
Small wonder. It's really true though. So one more thing with the testing. Does funding run out for it at a certain point? Like, where are we for the next,
oh Lord,
over the next 6 months? Sorry, like I'm not trying to stump you, but like, so for the future.
So what happened was in March, the federal government passed a $2.2 trillion stimulus, right?
Okay.
In March.
Right.
So they basically said money should be no object. Go use whatever resources you have, right? And so that's the resources we've been using for these test sites, for public Wi-Fi, giving teachers resources, all sorts of assistance to small businesses. But the money expires as of now, December 30th.
Oh, wow.
2 weeks. Now, right now, as I speak, Senator Coons, Representative Blunt-Rochester, Senator Carper are in negotiations.
Right.
So hopefully the word we're getting now is that likely will be extended a year. Now, there's not going to be any more money, right? But they're giving us more time to spend it. We're just about out of money anyway, but I've committed. We're going to find a way, the critical things, like the test sites, we're going to find a way to keep them open. I don't know how yet, but we're going to find a way.
Well, I mean, our other cousins, the DuPonts,
The DuPont, that's our cousin
money.
DuPont.
Y'all got some money, and y'all in the healthcare. I mean, and we got the Astra of Zeneca around the corner. We got, Insight? Come on, pharmaceuticals. Come, this your time. Give back to the people.
One thing.
Wow, Nadj for mayor.
Listen.
Well, listen, I'm cute. I'm for the people. I like dogs.
So you're ready to take on that responsibility?
Listen,
you ready to run
is
for
there a wardrobe budget? I just need to know. Is there a wardrobe budget? Let me know, because my husband is tired of all the boxes and packages coming to our house.
So that's your platform. I want a better wardrobe.
No. My platform is for the people with a better wardrobe.
For the people with a better wardrobe.
I'll try that. Maybe after COVID, I'll try that line. Yeah, wait till.
It's actually really interesting, though, to see, because I think that so many people don't understand the importance of all of these different positions in government. And you can see kind of firsthand why individuals matter. You know what I mean? Like, if it could have gone very differently with how this county handled that money, and we wouldn't have the luxury of getting tested. I've gotten texted I'm sure at least 10 times at this point. Like, I try to do it almost weekly.
No. He is a serial tester.
I'm a serial tester.
He's a serial tester.
Yeah.
They know him as soon as he walks up. In fact, they huff and puff. They be like, oh, here come Jay.
With the whole
They got
family.
snacks for him when he walk up.
I come with my wife, both of my kids, and we do it regularly. You know, it just gives me a certain level of comfort.
That's good. We actually were having problems in the beginning that we wanted a lot of people to get tested. We knew a lot of people were asymptomatic, had no symptoms, and had it in there. But that's changed now. People are coming out. So.
Wow.
So we've tested almost 200,000 people. Or we've tested almost 200,000 times. So we think about the 100,000 people.
I've got about 50,000. I've got 50 of those.
But also I should mention there are other, like county council has been we can't spend the money without county council support. County council has been, the legislative branch has been very supportive. As I mentioned, our paramedics, our public works, all the tents and all the cones and everything, our police department making sure that traffic runs smoothly. So I tell my team, the goal is not very high, but we got to be better than LabCorp and Quest. I want it easier, quicker. Don't take a number, whatever, just come through.
It's been amazing.
Walk on up.
Yeah.
Okay, so give us a little information on the Sheridan. The Sheridan off of 95. The Hope, is it
the Newcastle County Hope Center?
Yes.
Is what we renamed it as. So when we started this, I brought my team together and I said there are 3 goals when we go through this crazy pandemic thing. The first goal is to do anything we can to save lives, keep people healthy, whether it's testing. We're helping the state now to get the vaccine dissemination, anything we can do in that regard. The second goal was protecting the most vulnerable, right?
Yeah.
We knew that this caused vulnerable populations to become a lot more vulnerable. When we say everybody quarantine at home, what do you do if you're homeless? What do you do if you're homeless and it's cold outside, if you're used to going a shelter and the shelters have limited capacity because they don't want it to be a cesspool of COVID? So what we've been, for the past 6 months, collaborating with the state and the city of Wilmington, city of Newark, Middletown, helping homeless individuals experiencing homelessness to get vouchers to go to motels. Those were overrun. And we found it made more sense to acquire a hotel and not just use it for housing and food, but make it a center of basically rehabilitation. So people coming in there why are you experiencing homelessness? Maybe there's a domestic situation. Maybe it's substance use. Maybe it's mental health. Maybe it's all the above. Maybe it's none of the above. Maybe you need job training. Maybe your kids need really high quality schooling. Some of the motels had inconsistent Wi-Fi in some of the rooms, which normally I'd be like, whatever, not a big deal. But we know in this day and age, that means your kids might not be able to go to school. So we said, this is gonna keep going. We also have, even before COVID, we had a transitional housing problem here. You might remember RVRC, the Rick Van Story Center, the YMCA, they both closed shelters in the past few years. At some point, we needed to address this problem, so why not now?
Wow.
You're doing really cutting edge stuff here, and it's making a difference. So how did you take us to the beginning, kind of? Like, how did you get involved with politics and serving the public?
I, in middle school, was pretty passionate about homelessness.
Really?
I went up to Kennebunkport, Maine, for those that remember.
Where are you from?
So I'm from big city, Wilmington, Delaware.
Yeah, okay.
You heard of it?
Snap.
You guys familiar with it?
I've heard of it.
My cousin knows it, I think. My cousin knows. You been there? Yeah, no, I'm from Wilmington. I actually was born in Michigan, moved the family here when I was about 5 months old.
Okay.
Wow.
So, and then grew up here, went away to college, and then came back.
Yeah.
And when I was in middle school, I took a bus at some point when I was a kid up to Kennebunkport, Maine, because the president was vacationing. Bush was vacationing at his big, chateau, and there were all these homeless people. And I think he just vetoed some bill to assist homeless people. It's like people don't have homes, and you're going to a place with 24 buildings to vacation.
Wow.
And so I've always been passionate that we got to take care of the least fortunate among us. And so so it's been a goal of mine to address the problem. You can't always, in positions like mine, you learn you got to wait for the right timing. You don't always have the resources to do it. This is an opportunity to do it. I got to mention Carrie Casey, Nicole Waters.
Okay.
This is their vision as much as or more than it's mine. Renee Beeman, who runs the State Service Center.
First lady of my church.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, Bethel.
Oh, yeah. And her Corey, right?
Yep, Corey
Yep.
That's the weekend job. That's the weekend job. Her day job, she's really saving lives.
Yeah, she's amazing.
Her team.
She's
really doing incredible work.
We got to have her on. We got to have the whole family.
Yeah, bring her on. And bring her on to talk about
they my
this
family.
hotel.
Literally? Or you make
No,
it just
well,
there?
I mean...
I mean, everyone's your
Well,
family.
they're your family, they're my family. And the governor's family,
we
too.
all family.
Oh, there you go. It's Delaware. It's Delaware.
No, the governor is my best friend. But that's questionable because I don't know if he heard me, and I need validation, so...
So from middle school, I still want some more steps in
middle school.
here.
So I'm just passionate that I'm in this job, like a lot of other elected officials are, to help people who can't get a seat at the table, who don't have the money to give to campaigns, right?
Yeah.
Who are forgotten about when there's a crisis and everyone's worrying about the health of their family, their friends. These are people maybe left out, right? Who have problems that people don't want to deal with. I feel like it's my job. Those are my constituents too, and if they're not being taken care of, we all got to find a way to work together and take care of them. And let me say, when we did this, we were nervous. It was bold, it was big, and almost everything I've heard has been, this is amazing, how can we help? And it's overwhelming to the point that there have been so many individuals and groups offering to help. We're like, we're just putting together an organization now.
Okay, so as we're talking about it, because I thought about this, and I'm hoping that you can kind of bring some ease. So I'm not going to call out names, but like when I started telling people, hey, I got tested over and over again serially. Like I literally had a couple of people say to me, I'm not going to get tested because they were sort of, one literal thing was they were worried that somehow they would then be forced to take the vaccine, or that they would be in some sort of government registry that they didn't want to be involved with, and just a lot of, like, I do understand being paranoid of, government, okay? But can you give any sort of ease to someone who is worried about getting tested in terms of those kinds of concerns,
Yeah, so the testing, it's similar. It's no different than if you go to Quest or LabCorp or where you go. If you're willing to go for your, like, I don't know. My parents got tested, right? The other day, they got tested, and sometimes there's a problem with the emailing of results. It doesn't work. For a while, Curative was having a problem if you had a Yahoo account. It didn't work. They've addressed that.
Who has a Yahoo?
But so
me, literally.
So we were hearing back in July, August, we were hearing from all these people, hey, I got tested 3 days ago. I haven't heard results. What I did with those emails is I just gave them to my paramedics, and then people with a medical background could access them. I don't even know. They give me a number. They tell me the number of people who've tested, the number of people who've been tested positive. So I assure you that no one has access to any of your medical information who wouldn't ordinarily. I also can tell you,
I don't have to take the vaccine now?
No, you're not required to.
You sure?
In fact, nobody's required to do anything. Like we've talked about mandating testing. I know on the federal level there's been some talk about mandating the vaccine, but no one's requiring it. New technologies always should be concerning, right? Whatever the vaccine is today, I assure you that 5 years from now, there will be a better one, right?
Yeah.
We know that there will be a better one. But at the same time, like, people are dying, right? My mom's birthday was on Monday night, and I was supposed to go to have dinner with my mom, as I do every year on her birthday. Monday afternoon, we got a call that somewhere I was at on Thursday, there was an exposure. Someone tested positive. Yeah. Thursday afternoon, I got a test at one of our sites, but it didn't matter. It didn't matter, and so I missed my mom's. I just called in. Yeah. Right. I missed the birthday. So if I had the vaccine, I could have celebrated my mom's birthday with her. So.
Yeah, that's been my experience too. It's just like, even though I get tested, I got tested twice last week. You're right, it is serial. And even 2 or 3 days later, it's like, oh my gosh, I was here, this happened, and they're like, now what's next?
I think a lot of people just want peace of mind.
Yeah.
And that's the main part of it. If they know they're out, they want the vaccine because they want that peace of mind. But then you have the people who are not out, and they're like, I don't want nothing. I just want to stay home, and y'all stay home. So I get it. There's a lot of...
What's interesting is that we don't... I think people should take the vaccine, right? I think it's medically... Like you're saying, every medical professional I've spoken to about it says it's perfectly safe. Or not perfectly safe, but very safe. It's also not perfect, right? Even if you get it,
But
it's
none
not
of them
100%.
are. No
right?
vaccine
Nothing
is.
in life
Right,
is, in my
right. That's
experience,
the
right?
thing.
Right? Nor is our testing, for that matter.
So we would like to play a game with you.
Okay.
Dun, dun, dun.
Nice musical.
This is called Unrelated Connections with Matt Meyer.
And I failed at this miserably earlier, so don't feel bad.
But
You're probably smarter than me.
He's a little slow.
Yes, go ahead.
So, I'm going to give you 3 things, and you have to figure out what I'm talking about. It's all Delaware related. And the 3 things describe one thing. Got it?
Got it.
It'll make more sense after you get the first
Got it.
answer,
Right.
but
Okay.
yeah.
All right, here's the first one. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Tolls, 2 places at once, river.
Delaware Memorial Bridge.
He's a sharp one. We like you being in office again.
Sam,
this is a sharp one.
This is just
we know
good.
why he's the
Okay.
executive. He's
Okay.
executing right now.
That's my cousin. Okay. All right, here's the next one.
Okay.
Speeding, capital, 21.
Speeding, capital, 21. Police? It's a Delaware thing.
Mm-hmm.
Speeding, capital, Dover? Speeding, Ellesmere.
You're so close.
You're very close.
The Dover part is right.
Go back to Dover.
Speeding, capital, 21 is what, 21 years old?
Exactly. Let's keep helping him. And then speeding, fast.
Not 21 years old.
Well, yeah.
There's no Route 21. Something. Listen, I'm Newcastle County, so if we're in Dover, you can get the Kent County exec in here to talk
You
to
want
him.
to pass?
I'll
No,
pass.
give it to him, no. Tell him.
No, he can come back.
Okay, all right.
Oh, well, no, we don't
don't know
got
if
that
I've
much
I mean, we don't
time.
have timer, but
Dover Downs.
Oh, Dover
21
Downs.
for Blackjack.
Oh, Johnny on Blackjack.
Yep.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that's out of my county. I don't.
All right, this is the next one. Square, royalty, opera.
Grand Opera House.
close.
Square. Mm-hmm. Oh, Ronnie Square.
Mm-mm.
Square.
You're putting it
royalty,
together.
Opera. Square. Was not Hotel DuPont. Square. Royalty.
They're all on the same.
Man, we should have quit after the first one.
No, but you're thinking correctly.
Square. Royalty.
We also
Market
might-
Street.
There you
Yes.
go.
Yay!
He's a smart
I
man.
was going to say, me and Sam just
Want to give
suck
him one
at
more?
this.
Want to give him one more?
Okay. We have room for 2? Okay, 2.
Okay.
All right. German Shepherd, shut up, Hunter.
I got this one and it made me laugh. I bet you're going to get this one
Turns
too.
Shepard, shut up, Hunter. It's not Joe Biden.
Yes.
My favorite one.
Yeah.
Okay, last one. Friends, Jumbo, math.
Oh, is that me?
Yeah.
Nice. Good.
So
You
wait.
put cousin there, but yeah, that's all right.
Wait, so you speak fluent Swahili?
And deal. No, najua pia.
Oh my God!
That's
You know, I thought we were doing this since they told me we're switching over to the Swahili language part of the show. No? That's not
listen,
today.
You know what? What happened was
How'd you learn Swahili? Or
I
why did you?
know.
I lived in Kenya for
Okay.
a year.
Ah.
And I
that's
go
how
back
we
there.
cousins because of
you're
my
fluent?
blood.
But you're fluent. I've been in places for a year, but like you're fluent.
I started a footwear company in a poor neighborhood in Nairobi.
What? Who
And
did
so-
you bring on this show?
Yeah.
Like this is you.
Continue.
We did a good
See,
job
this could
electing
easily
this
be
man.
a 2-hour interview, but we have to keep moving. Go.
Yeah, no, I grew up in Delaware and I wanted to see something completely different. So the first chance I got in college, I went and studied abroad in Kenya for 4 months. And then when I graduated, I went back and lived there for a year.
Okay.
And I love it. It's not for everyone, but I love it.
Is there anything that you need to let us know or educate us on?
Look, I think that in March, when COVID started, everybody took it really seriously, right? We were all hunkered
Yeah.
down. We were scared,
Yeah.
scared to go to restaurants, scared to go anywhere. Everything was closed. Now people are like, we're kind of living with it, which is kind of good. We're resilient. But on the other hand, I think there are a lot of us who, when we look at our friends, neighbors, family, maybe aren't taking it as seriously as we should.
Yeah.
So I just want to emphasize to people, like, carry these things around, right?
I got mine in my jacket.
Wear
Right
them.
there.
It's really very, it's still very serious. The numbers today
Are
are
worse.
higher
Yeah.
than they've been at any time.
Yep.
And part of the reason is a lot of us are not taking it as seriously as we should. So please
Yeah.
take it seriously. It saves lives.
Yes.
It
I
definitely
think
does.
that it saves lives, and also the people who are, well, if I get it, I get it. Not everyone dies. Think about the after the aftermath, the
We've
after
said it so many
effects,
times.
because there's so many lingering things, and everyone's different. Like, I have a friend whose left side of her body still goes numb. I have a friend who suffers from crazy headaches, and she had it months ago. People with lung problems that they're still dealing with
I'm about to take
months
this vaccine.
after.
Yeah, it's like,
As
wait,
she's
give us
saying,
a-
I'm like, you know what? Where's the vaccine?
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Right. So just be mindful of that. Yes, you having that, let's relate this to 30 seconds of passion and then a lifetime of responsibility. Okay, that minute or hour you're hanging out with your friends could turn into a lifetime of all these health issues that you don't want to deal with.
The more we go out and do things, the longer we're going to be in this for.
Yeah.
If we could get the whole country just for 1 month to everyone just hunker down, I think we'd be in a much better place.
If they
But because
put all the
yeah.
movies on Netflix and Hulu, we'd be good.
You
Like,
maybe-
all the movies,
you're making
all
a
the shows.
reasonable point.
Y'all, okay, but we gotta go. Cousin, this
Thank you.
Thank
is
you very much.
awesome. Please come back.
Definitely, and thank you for what you're doing. It's
Yes.
great for the community. It's great for the city, the state.
We just
and
want
for-
everyone to love Delaware. And can we have a hashtag? I'm so Delaware. Do you feel like you're so Delaware?
definitely so Delaware.
I think
very
he is.
Delaware.
What's the most Delaware thing about you?
Maybe the most Delaware thing about me is when I graduated high school, my parents are like, you can go anywhere you want for dinner. We will take you anywhere. I went to Charcoal Pit.
My guy! Yes!
That was my
And on that note,
Perfect way to close.
woo, on that note, we'll be back.
Thank you. That was cool.
Hello, DETV family. This is Dr. Rose Kokoza, primary care physician at Christiana Care. I'm reaching out to you because we know that the COVID-19 pandemic is still very much with us, with cases on the rise. Please continue to do what we know works. Wash your hands frequently, social distance, and wear a mask. Let's do what we need to do to move past this pandemic.
Well, that was really fun. Matt Meyer, my cousin.
Yeah.
My cousin is the bomb.
He's a super fun guy.
He really is. And the governor is very informative, very official. But he's
supposed to be official as the governor.
You know, he
Right.
got a little, some jokes up in there.
You know what I'm interested in? I know that we really didn't get a chance. Yeah, I didn't really get a chance to kind of dig in because, you know, we have time to worry about.
You always want to sink your teeth into people.
I-
Like, you need to calm down. Don't nobody want to be bit. See what I did there? See what I did?
I think that County Executive Matt Meyer has a.
Oh, he's
already done a lot, but he has a bright future.
He really
I don't.
does.
You at a certain point, you put politics aside and you realize that you got someone who's doing some lofty things
Yeah.
and some cutting edge things. So
Yeah.
I can't predict anything. I don't
Yeah.
have a clue. I'm far from being an insider, but.
Yeah.
That young man's got quite a bright future ahead of him.
And I didn't get to mention this, but I previously was at an event with Governor Carney, probably spring 2019. It was for State Farm it was for AAA, and it was about an initiative for to stop texting and driving. And Governor Carney was there and spoke. I spoke because me and my husband were in a car accident. And it was basically wrapped around not paying attention when you were driving. And of course, I told you about the accident we were in where the guy hit us.
I saw someone texting, driving in the snow last week.
And
Like,
I
just-
saw somebody watching YouTube. Watching a YouTube makeup tutorial while driving.
Yep.
So anyway, please don't do that. Don't text and drive. Pay attention. But anyway, Governor Carney is very intelligent and he knows his stuff. He knows what's best for Delaware. So and Matt Meyer is the same exact thing. Like, I think we have such a great what do you call it? Like a cabinet? What y'all call these officials?
We have some strong
we got a
leaders.
good group of
We have
leaders.
some strong,
yes,
capable
we do.
leaders.
And I'm really proud. That's I'm so Delaware.
And the thing is, I try to, like, everyone, you know, it's American. It's like, we should criticize, okay? We should pick people
right.
apart and we should question everything, you
Yes.
know? But at the same time, you've got to say that, you know, I don't know how you could paint any negativity on the testing program. You know, maybe you don't agree with this policy, that decision, you know, the way that the restaurant, so on and so forth. I understand all of those gripes, and they're legitimate, but like, you gotta say good job where it's appropriate, and you gotta also say, you know, you gotta balance.
I think the people who throw shade or who have negative feelings on good initiatives are the people who know they're doing wrong. That's projection.
I can appreciate
like,
that.
If you know you out here doing stuff you're not supposed to, mask off, YOLOing, of course you're gonna be like, nah, I ain't getting tested, y'all shouldn't be doing this, blah, blah, blah. I don't want the government with my information. What you hiding? What you hiding?
There's a balance. Yeah.
I'm telling you. But yeah, I'm proud. I'm very proud of these gentlemen.
I think you're gonna run for office one day.
No.
Yeah, I can see it.
Let me tell y'all something. If I run for office, there'll be so many changes. First of all, these streets...
Would you create a dress code?
Yes, I would.
What would the dress code be?
Fashionably business.
Fashionably
like this.
Business.
See?
You about to play football, right? With them shoulder pads? You better check somebody? Like, I'm coming down the street, son. No? All right, my bad. All right.
If I won office, couldn't I put him in jail?
If you're a dictator.
I don't like that. I'm a woman-tater.
A woman-tater?
Yeah.
I'm a tater-tot.
I like tater tots.
I think it's safe to say that we're done for the day, but also please make sure that you watch Chef Dana. He's following us, and he's gonna have some awesome food.
He be cooking.
He be cooking.
Okay, it ain't fair. Like, his wife, Ishmael, get it together. Cause Chef Dana's wife over there eating good in the neighborhood, and we over here eating vegetables.
Everyone have a wonderful Christmas. We will be back on Wednesday, though. So we'll see you on Wednesday.
Oh, we're doing ugly sweaters. We're going to make our own ugly sweaters on Wednesday. I'm so excited. And then we want y'all to vote on whose is better.
Whose is uglier? How's it better? Who has the ugliest one?
Never mind. We're not going to vote because I don't like that. I don't want to be the winner of an ugly sweater.
See y'all on Wednesday. Bye.